Okay, so I've helped put together this Inflation Reduction Act notes, so you guys will have the information here about the ways you can be using the Inflation Reduction Act to boost your business, doing improvements that you already do, or if you're looking at getting into new types of improvements. So I think Lori was going to join us, but I know Annie is here. So I'm our marketing director. Lori is our loan program director. Either of us are available. If you're interested in co-branding, if you have questions about how to work with Self, I'll really quickly go over what we are as Self. I know most of you guys know this. We're a mission-driven lender working with inclusive underwriting policies. We utilize people's ability to pay and not their credit score, so it gets more folks approved. And it's our mission to rebuild and empower these underserved communities by providing access to the financing for these home improvements. So you guys are all self contractors. You know, we can do almost every single type of home improvement, from solar products, sewer and water, HVACs, roofing, anything in between. And if you have a question about what type of improvement, I'm happy to bring those questions either to someone on our loan team or our program director. Or I'm sure Annie could help and jump in. Uh, so today I'm going to walk you through the two types of incentives and the ways that there is funding coming from the Inflation Reduction Act. There are two types, and one is a tax credit, and the tax credit is what is available now. So these tax credits, they are redeemed the following tax year. They reset every year, and they're available through 2032 without a spending cap, which means no matter how much money goes into those programs, unless Congress reverses the act, that money will still exist through 2032, no matter what. And people can plan their improvements over time because all of the tax credits reset yearly. There's two main tax credits I'm going to walk you through on, and mostly what we're going to be using. So the other one is the upfront rebates. These upfront rebates are going to be game changers when they come into play, but they're not in play yet. So these are upfront discounts at the point of sale at purchase. They're going to be available in late 2023. States are going to be putting together their rules and putting together information, and we're going to have more information, a little more in February, but probably not all of it in February, to know exactly how we're going to get access to those. I'll still walk you through some of those programs and the ones that are going to be most efficient and useful for you. But what's important there is there's direct funding for LMI communities. So anyone that makes 80% or less of area media income, or 80 to 150% of the area media income, there's going to be funding for those LMI communities that will cover either 50% for the lower tier or 100%. And that funding is capped. It's set at a certain number, so it could run out before the law is done in 2032. The big upfront discount that you guys are going to want to know, the one that you're going to talk about all the time, is going to be the biggest one for all of us, is the HEHRA discounts, the HEEHRA discounts, high energy, high efficiency electric home rebate act. So these are up to $14,000 per household. They don't reset. So you can't keep using these over and over again with the same client. But there's also an additional incentive in these of $500 per project for contractors. Those, you're not going to be able to redeem them yet. These are going to come out in 2023. that this is a huge amount of money that could cover 100% of the costs or could cover 50% of the costs, depending on. And so there are individual limits on each of the products, and I'm going to walk you through those limits as we go through. So these are mostly the tax credits. You're going to use two different types of tax credits. One is going to be the 25C tax credit, and the other is the 25D tax credit. The 25D tax credit is going to apply for rooftop solar. So the 25D tax credit is almost always uncapped, and which means there's not a limit based on the product. So that 25D tax credit you can use to do 30% of the costs for solar. There is not a limit. It is uncapped. There is no income restrictions as well. The heat pump AC heater tax credit. This one's interesting because you can use both the 25C and the 25D. But the 25C tax credit is 30% of the cost, and it's capped at $2,000 a year. For people who don't know what a heat pump is, it is a game-changing a piece of equipment that is going to be in homes across the U.S. Heat pump can serve both as a heater and an air conditioner. A heat pump can also power a water heater. We have options for both of those here. That upfront HERA discounts are going to go up to $8,000 when they kick in. So again, on the water, this is the water heater. You can have the 25C tax credit here. It's capped at $2,000 a year for the water heater, for the heat pump water heater. And those HERA credits are going to go up to $1,750. So those credits vary. You can see from improvement to improvement, but the HERA discounts are going to be a really big push when it does come in. Still, you want to be encouraging people to utilize these tax credits now, because these tax credits reset. So if they want to do an improvement now, they can start to pace these improvements out over the next 10 years and make sure to get the most out of their money. They don't want to wait to start until the upfront discounts start, because then they'll be leaving those tax credits on the table. This is one that's going to be big, I know, for a lot of our contractors. A lot of our contractors do weatherization, and they can use the 25C tax credit to do up to 30%, capped at $1,200 per year. It's also going to come with the discounts up to $1,600. Susanna, I know that there are a lot of weatherization, flood-proofing programs that you guys are doing in Miami-Dade County. Do you know if you guys have any stacking rebates on top of those?
I'm not sure what you mean, but we do have a weatherization program through our Community Action and Human Services Department. And they have a form that the property owners have to fill in, and there are income level requirements. we don't have any of our own rebates in place, although our water and sewer department does have rebates available both for residential and for commercial projects for water kind of equipment related to water efficiency.
Yes,
So
that's
provide that to you after the webinar. I can provide that to you and you could send that out.
awesome. I will include that with our links here. So that weatherization, here's additional information here, because they have per project, per door, per window limits. So that total 25C tax credit is up to $1,600 for the weatherization. That can be split a few different ways. You can do up to $1,200 for the air sealing and insulation, up to $250 per door, $500 total, um, up to $600 for windows, and it can also be included up to $150 for a professional energy audit. So this next one here, the electric panels. So for folks that do electric panels, the electric panels are a little bit trickier with the to utilize either the 25C or the 25D tax credit. So if if you use the 25C, again available for both, but if you use the 25C, there is a cap of $600. There's no cap on the 25D. To be eligible for an electric panel, that is an additional credit, but you have to be also doing another 25C or 25D credit. So you can't combine credits. So you would have to do either a heat pump and a panel, or a rooftop solar and a panel, or an AC and a panel. Something like that would allow the panel to be added as an additional credit, but you can't just do the panel on its own. And if you have both credits, so say you did, say someone was doing rooftop solar and a heat pump AC, you can only take the greatest credit. You can't combine the two credits together to get double back for the electric panel. Jasper, I think we just let you in, but I promise we're recording. I'll send it out to you. So that covers the way that the Inflation Reduction Act can be used, and those things can be utilized with us. I want to walk you through a little bit of the way that we can help you utilize the Inflation Reduction Act, and make more money with it. So co-brand with us. We can provide you guys with great co-branded marketing that highlights these savings and rebates. We have internal staff explainers for your staff and for your sales team to explain how to use Self and how to work with their clients, and explain it to them, right? So it doesn't have to be a game of telephone. And then this Inflation Reduction Act toolkit, I'm going to have a nice, real easy and customizable grid for you to be able to point to folks and say, all right, this is how much you save on this one. This is, and when the new upfront incentives come in, we're going to have those included as well. So we'll keep you in the loop on all of this. I'm just showing you some of our great co-branded material that highlights our inclusive financing alongside a lot of our contractors. So if you don't have co-branded material with Self, and you need either flyers or a rack card, or you're interested in some other community advertising, you're doing a mailer, you want to partner on that stuff, please give us a call, talk to me. I'm happy to work with y'all and put that together. Customized landing pages that will be rolling out. I want to thank you guys for spending your time with me today, and I want to open the floor for questions about the Inflation Reduction Act and the different ways that it can be utilized. So I'll bring us back here to my big tax credit page. The biggest thing that I know a lot of people have questions about is the difference between those tax credits and those incentives. With my toolkit, I'm also going to be sending you a link to Rewiring America's Inflation Reduction Act calculator that you can let your clients use for their homes, and you can use as a contractor to get a good idea of, okay, is this person going to qualify? Are we going to be able to put this together that way? But I'll open up the floor. Does anyone have any questions about the Inflation Reduction Act and ways that we can be using the tax credits or the rebates? No questions?
This,
Awesome.
this is Susanna. I sent you a question on via cell. I don't know if you wanted to answer it or not.
Let me, sorry, I wasn't looking at the phone here. Self-help property owners. So we are not here to help fill out taxes, right? But we're definitely going to give people the tools to go and get these rebates, right? We want to make sure everyone can take advantage of them. So probably not self. Susanna's question was, will self be able to help property owners obtain tax incentives and rebates, or is that up to the homeowner? It's still going to be up to the homeowner. We're not we're not your H&R Block 2. I wish we could be. There's only so many things we can do, but we're gonna put the pieces. We're gonna make it so easy that the path is laid out, right? That everybody can follow it, and you can help your clients follow it. And I know you guys know, as contractors, uh, return business and word of mouth is king, right? I've been watching the same roofer do every single roof in my neighborhood now because he did a great job on someone's roof, and everyone in the neighborhood's talking him up. So when you go that extra mile, and this is, you can be the king poobah for folks at no extra cost to you. You are bringing them $8,000 or $14,000 back in their pocket, and to have that knowledge and to be able to know who's eligible and how to help them get there, they're going to talk you up, and I can guarantee you your business is going to grow by an exponential amount.
Hey, can I just jump in real quick?
Yes.
So, hi everyone. So one of the things, I was just on a recent energy department webinar on these tax credits and upfront rebates. And one of the things they said was that each state is getting, of course, a certain amount, and that those funds are flowing through to the departments of energy. And in Florida, ours is under the it's DAX, right? Department of Agriculture and Consumers Sources. And that kind of guidance on how they're going to apply for the funds and how they're going to determine, what percentage of LMI they are, is all going to be coming from the Department of Agriculture. So they will tell us how that, if they're going to do a website or if they're going to do a form that the contractors fill out, all that guidance should be coming down the pike probably by March. So just to give everybody a heads up, they will be retroactive though. So families will still just have to apply.
Awesome. So the rebates will be retroactive.
Yeah, so like if you do an air conditioner now, you think the family is 80% of AMI and that they might, be able to get a $4,000 rebate, right? Then, obviously they can't get it right now because we don't have any guidance yet from the Department of Agriculture. But as soon as that guidance comes out, they can fill it out and get their rebate.
That's great.
And there's also too, just so another piece of information to pass along is that the homeowners, there is a free tax service called VITA that is done through all of the United Ways across the state. And so if they want tax advice, VITA is free and they will take care of that for them. So, we're staying in our lane and they're staying in their lane.
Awesome. Well, it's great that there are other folks out there doing that. And this is going to be the big one. Then that's such great news to know that those rebates are going to be retroactive and that people are going to be able to take advantage of them. because that means that this is the big one that we can all be running around and trying to work at now, is because this one's going to come with that $500 per contract per project for you guys incentive from the federal government, which is a pretty cool extra on top of having that up to $14,000 available per household. Does anyone else have any questions?
Hi, Jay, can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, this is Tracy. Well, I guess that was one of my questions, is how are we going to find out what the AMI levels are going to be? That'll
We're
come
gonna get
from the
the
Department of
release from
Agriculture.
the state, and so around March.
Yeah, Tracy, there's an AMI calculator for each community.
Okay,
It's available online. And so the big thing that they were talking about was how they were going to prove income, right? So that you can figure out the AMI.
right.
And that is, they have yet to decide how they're going to do that. And then there's that percentage savings of electric. So they think they're going to do it by electric bill, and then trends over time. That's how they talked about it on the DOE call. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that they'll have some direction here, but it is Florida's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Department of Energy. So it may take a little longer, but we just have to be patient and know that that's coming down the pike.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Anyone else have any questions? I said 20 minutes and I'm only 2 minutes over now, so I feel like I'm doing real good. So I want to then I'll end us. I'll thank you guys for joining me. I'll send everyone information about how to co-brand with us, and if I can connect you to a loan officer, or if you have additional questions about the program, or just questions, anything related to self, I'm happy to direct you to the right place if I can't find the answer. But thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time, and thanks for being a part of this program with us.
Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Jake, could you stay on for a minute with Annie?
Yeah.
Or I could just call you another time. It's okay.